Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to my first ever vlog. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Aidan. I'm 33 years old and arguably not an alcoholic. This is about the 50th take that I've tried to do this, so I have to get it right this time because the sun is beginning to set behind me and will probably then shine in your eyes and you won't be able to see me properly. What can I say? Well, I'm a gay man. I live in the city of Brighton and Hove in the UK, and I live here with my partner Facundo, who I met about 3 years ago. We're very excited to be planning for our wedding, a big gay wedding we hope next summer. And yeah, so we're enjoying life here in the city. And Brighton and Hove, it's a small place. It's got a very vibrant gay scene, a lovely beach. It's quite bohemian in its character as well. So part of this will probably be reflected in the vlogs that I try to do. But the main reason I'm looking to start with this vlog is to talk about my experiences, first of all as a gay man, but also as an amateur gay football player. I should stress, very amateur gay football player. I've not played at any high standard at all. To explore some of the issues that I've had as a gay man, and also as a gay man playing sport like football, which is for me a lifelong passion, something that I've been involved with since I was a child, but also to explore some of the issues that have affected me trying to play sport or to try and watch the sport, because football still has really big problems both here in Britain and around the world with stigma towards gay people and LGBTQ people. There's a lot of hatred still, and I think that that's reflected in the fact that in the Premier League there are still no out footballers at the top end of the game. Perhaps though that is beginning to change. Last year, of course, we had the Blackpool football player who's a professional, Jake Daniels, who came out, and that was a huge moment really for football. And I think we all hope that that will herald a new, better period really, where people can be more open about themselves. But I think that looking at it from both the professional right down to the grassroots of the game, there's still big problems within football. And so my vlog is really about looking at that issue, and also sport more generally, both here in Britain and around the world, but how we can break down some of those barriers. Through the process, it's not just really about using my voice. I'd also like to try and find my voice a little bit as well, to share some of my experiences, to perhaps help other people who may not know what playing football or playing other sport may involve. Because here in the city of Brighton and Hove, there are lots of teams, lots of societies, lots of sports clubs for people from the LGBTQ plus community. But there's still so much more to do, even here in Brighton, where I'm very lucky to have that access, but in other towns that doesn't exist. Around the world it doesn't exist. So it's like a reminder that still around the world we have to break down prejudice and hate, and we have to challenge it. And I think it's that context that's driving me forward with this, because here in the UK we've experienced what I would call as a kind of a tidal wave, I suppose, of hatred and bigotry, in particular directed towards people from the trans community, but it's reflected now in ever-growing numbers of hate crimes committed against trans people, but also against people from across the LGBTQ community. And I think it's important to stand up and call that out, and part of that is to do so through everyday experiences that we all go through, and for me that's through playing football. So I hope that my vlog can help with that. It can perhaps show other people, other LGBTQ people, that there are experiences and teams out there for you to connect with. And for me it's been very rewarding to have made new friends and to have found new challenges in my life through sport that I otherwise would not have had. So I'd like to share that with you and go from there. But to start with, I think it's important just to perhaps introduce my career, if that's what you can call it, a little bit here in Brighton. I moved here in 2018, so before the pandemic, when I was still in my 20s and had better fitness than I do now. So I'm at a stage of my football career where perhaps I don't have too many years ahead of me. So maybe this is my last chance really to do the vlogging seriously, because I'm part of a gay team here in Brighton and Hove. The name of our team is Brighton Blags. It stands for Brighton Lesbian and Gay Sports Society, and I know that sounds a little bit outdated, and perhaps it is. I'm not sure when the team was founded, I think, or the society was founded, I believe many years ago now, but it is in fact a fully inclusive LGBTQ plus society with a range of sports. There's badminton, there's groups for tennis, there's football that we play for mixed abilities as well, and there's 10-pin bowling and walking groups, running groups. To say a little bit more about Blags, we are a team that play in a gay football league. There's 2 divisions in that league. So last year we played in the Division 2. We were lucky enough and played well enough to get promotion to the top league. So this year we're playing in the first division, and that means it's more difficult matches against arguably better players in some of the teams, other sort of gay and LGBTQ teams around the country. It means we will be visiting other cities this year. So we've played a game which I'll show you later in London, but we've got games in Nottingham, Leicester, and against Newcastle, in Glasgow. There's many games to come, and I'd like to sort of share with you some of the moments of those matches. My position is left back. It's a defensive position, but my mum likes to joke that it's left back in the dressing room. That's her joke, and we have a little giggle together about that. But I've played there really since I started playing gay football again in my mid-20s, and that's mainly because there aren't really many people who want to play in the position. I'm not myself naturally left-footed. My strong side is my right side, but people don't play there, so someone has to do it, and that's kind of where I've ended up really. So you'll see from these clips that are to come how I play the game, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of the highlights from our first match with Brighton Blags when we went away to play against Charlton Invicta in South East London, in Greenwich in South East London. The first game of the season, we're playing against a team called Charlton Invicta, and they're a very good team. They were top of the division last year, and we've only just been promoted, so I'm a bit nervous about how it's going to go. And on a personal note, I started playing gay football when Charlton Invicta were called Bexley Invicta, and that's about 10 years ago now. It was very good fun, and then when I moved to Brighton, I started playing gay football in Brighton, so it's nice to play a competitive fixture. And it's really hot today, so we're going to have to watch our stamina and make sure we take on lots of water. We'll see how we go. We want to have fun, but we want to have a competitive game. I don't mind what the score is. I just hope that we do ourselves justice and that we play well. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, fair enough. The first game for Brighton Blags in the GFSN Division 1 this season came away at Charlton Invicta, with the match to be played in Greenwich in South East London. Both teams posed for a picture before the game was played and completed a respect handshake to promote sportsmanship and good play and fair play. It was Charlton Invicta in red to get the game underway. The early phases of play saw good possession from Charlton Invicta, but Jan and Fred got on the ball and completed some tidy play for Brighton Blags as well. The game was also a little bit scrappy, with Brighton Black's players doing their best to get tackles in to disrupt Charlton's play. And Brighton had to continue defending, Kieran in this example clearing an early cross. Later, Nick himself got involved and defended a cross, and Fred got stuck in the middle of midfield. The first goal came in the 16th minute, with Charlton playing a through ball to the centre forward, who managed to wriggle his way past Nick and then slotted home in the bottom corner.
1-0 Charlton victor.
What followed was a spell of sustained pressure, with Charlton having efforts on goal. But Brighton dug in and we managed to keep out the chances, but here was a second chance and only the intervention of Kurt prevented a second goal being scored. Meanwhile, Jan was the first to get a shot away in anger for Brighton at the other end. Colin managed to play some tidy football here. Meanwhile, Charlton's main threat seemed to be posed down their right wing, creating an opportunity for 2-0, but was well defended by Arthur and Kieran combined.
Okay.
On a counter-attack, Charlton nearly forced a good opportunity for a second goal, but again Kurt was quickly off his line to deal with the danger. So the chances for Brighton were mainly from set pieces. Jan lined up this effort and Charlton had to defend, but it was offside. But perhaps the only way of getting a breakthrough was to come from a set piece for Brighton, and this effort nearly resulted in a difficult save for the goalkeeper. But Charlton also had efforts from set pieces themselves, with Kurt called into action with this stunning double save.
Brilliant save.
And Charlton continued to press with set pieces. This header narrowly missed the target. It was another attack down the right-hand side, and a corner was given away that would lead to the second goal of the match. The corner in the 33rd minute was taken on the right-hand side. It was an out-swinging cross that at first looked like it had been dealt with, but Brighton hadn't cleared their lines, and another ball was brought back into the box, and a Charlton player climbed highest to head the second goal in. Towards the end of the first half, this chance came for Charlton to make it 3, but it was just wide. Fred, with some tidy work, nearly set up a counter-attack for Brighton. The through ball just didn't work. This was the final chance of the first half, with Charlton firing a shot wide. At half-time, the score was 2-0. The second half got underway with Brighton in
Your
blue
one that like come where you lob the keeper.
trying to seek to keep the ball early and retain possession. But again, more defending was required as Charlton created chances.
He had time. He had time just to,
Brighton looked to free kicks, and Nick this time took a free kick that was just over the bar.
Good shot.
What followed was further pressure, another corner from the right-hand side, and Charlton nearly made it 3-0 with this header cannoning off the crossbar. There were some moments for Brighton on the counter-attack, with Chris up front, nearly eking out a chance on the counter-attack.
Chris.
But Kurt was in fine form again, making a splendid save down to his right-hand side.
Good save.
Up front, Brighton posed a threat down the left, and Chris had a shot towards goal with this effort. But further defending was required from Brighton, with Kieran getting in the way of this cross.
I'll go into a bit of a shock, and I don't want that when I'm like quite.
Charlton continued to drive forward. Kurt made an important save, and it was followed up with a superb block by Nick.
Motorways were behaving themselves today.
Oh, blimey, that ain't bad.
Arthur managed an interesting drive, meandering run forward, but his cross wasn't met with any header inside the box.
On a motorway.
So I was watching that.
Yeah.
Played Arthur.
And then came the game's first controversial moment, as the ball was tapped in by Charlton Invicta. An offside flag was raised, and at first not understood by the referee. A VAR check had to be done, with the linesman and referee consulting on whether that was offside. It was revealed that the Charlton man had in fact come back from an offside position to tap the ball in, and the goal was therefore ruled offside. Later, Kurt was out smartly off his line to deny another goal-scoring opportunity. Jan had a spectacular effort that nearly paid dividends with this volley, which was just wide. But it was another through ball that proved to be the undoing for Brighton Blags. In the 85th minute, Charlton burst through and the ball was slotted home for 3-0.
3-0, Charlton Invicta.
Charlton continued to push and try to create chances, and scored a fourth goal that again was controversially ruled out for offside. It was adjudged that a player was in the eye line of goalkeeper Kurt and was stood in an offside position. So after some argument, the game restarted with a goal kick.
Oh, incorrect. Charlton 3, Brighton 0.
In the dying embers of the game, Neil had this effort directed towards goal.
I So no, I think it'd be aimed back.
But Brighton's main efforts to try and break forward and create the counter-attack didn't prove fruitful. At full time, the score was 3-0, and Charlton Invicta would go top of the table with that display. So, full time, we lost 3-0. It was a competitive game though, which is good. We fought very hard, but the better team certainly won. And we're looking to go for some drinks or something tonight. But yeah, no, a good first game of the season. Hot weather, good for the fitness, and we can look forward to the rest of the season now, hopefully. So from these highlights, it was a difficult game for me, mostly played in a position called left back, which is a defensive position on the left, which is normally where I find myself playing. I'm not left-footed. I don't kick with my left foot as my strong, dominant foot. My right foot is dominant. And yeah, so I had a bit of a difficult game. Charlton Invicta's right midfield player gave me a very tough game. He was a very good player, very fast, much quicker than me, younger than me. And yeah, so it was a tough game. So you'll see from those highlights that I've tried my best to defend and play for the team as well as I can. So that was that then. It was certainly a tough match, and whilst we were not the best team, I think we all played as well as we could have done. Little things everywhere could have been a little bit better, but that's kind of how it is in every game you play. You know, from my perspective, I did the best I could to tackle and to pass the ball to teammates. But overall, I think it's fair to say there were not too many highlights for us in that match. Yeah, so we look forward to the future now and in future vlogs as well. So if you have any thoughts and questions about perhaps topics that I should cover in future vlogs, then let me know in the comments or find me on social media and let me know there. And that's that for this edition, and thank you for watching.